these
Beauty
Bill
is
Burr-
subjective, though. I'll be honest.
If it was one thing I learned from watching all these Bill Burr pod things is that
I have not checked. I haven't watched the new special either.
my man has been doing this shit for a long fucking time. Apparently, he's been podding for like 12 years.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
But he's like, yo, when people are like afraid to broach a topic or it's controversial, he's like, those are the things you need to be talking about.
Is it brooch?
Yeah, I guess.
Isn't that what you like put on your
In America,
lapel?
a lot of words have multiple meanings. You know,
It's
you got to broach the topic. You know? I don't know what other how
you
else
sure?
how else do you frame that?
Approach the topic.
No,
Okay.
not that.
All right. Well,
Not that.
We're gonna
See, broach the subject.
we're gonna broach a few subjects today on this podcast.
When you broach a subject, especially a sensitive one, you mention it in order to start a discussion on it.
oh,
See what I'm saying?
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, all right.
This is why when you be questioning the things that I
well,
say,
I just wanted them to know if they didn't know. I mean, I knew it.
I mean, I don't really care if they know. They could just look it up. That's what I did.
Why don't you guys just look it up?
Yeah, we're not here to teach you things on this pod. We don't know anything to teach you.
Couldn't be a teacher, man. I would be the teacher that was just like, get this kid the fuck out of my class. A. Put him on to the next teacher.
What?
Look, I'm from CPS.
Let's pretend-
I think that happened to me, to be honest.
Let's
with
pretend that you had the know-how to teach any class of your choosing. Which one are you choosing? to teach?
What class would I teach?
Yeah, and you can't say gym because that's just a
But
gimme.
gym is such a fun class.
But
to
it's just a
teach.
gimme. Like, of course, we're people who like
Is
in
that
our
really,
life
is
have
it
like
really a gimme?
for,
What if you're
for people like us who have enjoyed sports and athletics our entire life? Yes. If you are like not an athletic person and you're a fucking nerd, for lack of a better term, it's not really your thing, you know.
That really is, for lack of a better term. I mean, like, there's probably a better term than nerd, but yes.
Nah, I mean, listen, nerd is all encompassing. I feel like there's many different varieties of nerd.
You don't
in
think
the
there's
world.
athlete nerds?
For sure.
So why would you have to just say nerds? Why would you say?
Well, because historically, like if
you had two left
in a
feet
high school situation,
uncoordinated-
right? Like nerds aren't the athletes; they're the anti-athletes.
Yeah, but nerds are what the like. It's cool to be.
we're
a
talking
nerd,
about
man.
school and teaching. You know what I mean?
All right, I guess.
Nerds are not cool in school.
So the
Sorry.
teacher, I would probably teach. Man, that's a hard subject. I know what I wouldn't teach. That's for sure.
What would you not teach?
Anything math.
I'm saying we're assuming you have the know-how for any. Of
Oh, I
these.
have the know-how.
Yes.
So I'm not
Obviously,
really-
you're not gonna
so
like
I'm not really,
be
I'm not really
a
me.
stupid person and like go and try to teach.
So
math.
I'm not really me then, is what you're saying, because I'm not really great at certain maths. Like I understand algebra, but like when you start introducing these made-up topics and subjects, listen, we've been through this. Trigonometry is not a real fucking subject.
If it's like Mortal Kombat and they're like select your player, that's what you get to do right now. Essentially.
Oh, okay.
But like,
So I would probably go ahead and teach science.
well, what kind of science? Because there's about
Chemistry,
7,000 different
Probably
varieties.
chemistry, but I like the idea of like not so much of like adding up ions and protons, because that shit wasn't necessarily my bag. But like I want to be like, do you remember in grammar school we had a teacher who was a science teacher, Miss O'Brien? Mm-hmm. She was so dope with it, right? Like she made science actually kind of fun to do.
Yeah.
But I would like to be the chemistry teacher who sits there and like has you mix certain chemicals to see like the reactions. And
The funny thing is, I think chemistry is like the one science I didn't take in high school.
I took it, didn't do well.
I took biology, and then I went to physical sciences.
I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't really do well in none of high school, but only because I didn't really want to do. Like I really, when it comes down to it, I just didn't care about what they were teaching. I really don't. Like when I like to learn, when I learn something I'm enjoying to learn, I have like a propensity to learn more easily and more fluidly.
I mean, we've been through this. That like school up until like maybe sophomore year of high school is pretty quintessential, right? You need that shit. You gotta like know basic things in life because otherwise people have to deal with you as a stupid, you know.
As
So
a
like you
stupid,
should have
yeah,
you should have some kind of common knowledge
And
to a certain degree.
I got the knowledge. I'm good.
But then like after a certain point, obviously it's just kind of like filler, and they're just trying to
So
put you on a path to do things you don't want to do.
what would you teach?
I would think I'd have to go with like some kind of class in the art world. I don't know.
I would. Okay, so hold on. Before you were in my head, I was thinking about asking you after you said this. Now put what you think that that I would, and I would say the same for you, would be the class or the subject that you would teach. And I promise you, art is exactly the first thing I thought about for you, because Adam's a little bit of a stupid. No, I'm
Hey, man.
just playing. No. Adam is no. It just made sense to me because Adam is actually pretty good with kids. I, on the other hand, threatened a kid who was shooting me with a.
On a purely professional.
No, Adam is just good with like actually like just how a babysitter.
I can deal with a child without wanting to like cut its head off.
I, on the other hand, yesterday at this block party I was at, right? I'm gonna have a couple stories from block parties today too. But anyway, like this kid was shooting his little water gun in the air, but like obviously knowing it's gonna come down on me. I was like, "Hey, dude, get the hell on from here."
No. Listen, I've lost my patience with kids like that before. What the fuck are you doing? I've definitely lost my patience with kids like that. You're not supposed to shoot at us. Like if your parent is somewhere close by, right, and you're like doing stupid shit, and your parent isn't getting you, I'm gonna be like, "Yo, can you get the fuck out of here?" I've snapped on a kid like that, but like
sometimes they deserve it.
I promise one day we're gonna get a new camera, man, because this shit,
Yeah. But so Adam probably was better with anybody, but humans in general before the COVID debacle.
Yeah, and now there's like a wide-ranging belief that
You're somewhat okay. Listen.
I don't know why.
You gotta admit. All right. So me and Vivi were actually talking about you yesterday in that regard. Like,
yeah, because she said to Sarah, "Oh, you got to leave the house." And I'm like, "What is this? What is this thing that's on me that people think I don't?"
Be fair here.
No.
Let's just examine your life a little bit.
Oh,
right?
sure.
Not like fully personal, but so Adam lived in the city with me for mad years, and during that time he was, I would say, for all intents and purposes, a city boy. Right? You were out, you hung out. He was like, you know how they say city boy?
I would still be that way, but
you know how
nobody lives close to me out here.
There's city boys and city girls now, and they're all debating on who's up now and who's not. So Adam was a city boy. He would hang out. He would be out with us. We'd be at bars and happy hours and shit.
Yeah, because mind you, the time frame was like 19 to like 26 years old.
Okay. So hold on.
It was like the prime of when you're supposed to do that.
Adam moved to the burbs, right?
Yeah.
Adam moved to the burbs. He then kicked it in the burbs for the majority of the time. He come out once in a while, but even then, you still did make your way out to the city from time to time.
I still do that now. Until my barber decides to leave.
COVID struck. Until your barber starts to leave. COVID struck, and then Adam, who worked at home or worked at an actual workplace, got remote work.
Mind you, I'm 32 now. All right.
Okay,
I'm an old man now.
He's not that damn old. At 32, you shouldn't be like, all right, well, I'm just kicking it in the crib.
Wait. Before you start going crazy, it's not like I stay in my house 24/7, 365. Don't go anywhere. Don't leave.
Where you go other than the store for dog food to our parents'
Actually,
house.
I don't go to the store for dog food. It's on auto ship.
So there's that. He goes to our parents' house. He goes to the barbershop once every 6 weeks?
There's not a particular time frame.
That's not enough.
I do more than that. Clearly, yesterday I was just in the city. Last night.
Dude, you can't bring up the one time you were in the city.
What is there to do? What do I do? Nobody. Where do you go? You bowl and you go to work?
We bowl. We go to eat. We go hang out at people's houses in the city.
Oh, you're living life like it's golden.
What we're debating right now is the fact that you don't do that as much as you used to.
Yeah, but it's not because...
Can you agree with that?
Sure, but of course that happens.
By a drastic margin?
That depends who you're asking.
Fogging up. You're like, I go out. Stop making fun of me.
It just depends like what your standard is. Like, I don't need to go out and do things.
I would say if I guess the percentage.
A lot of people have turned into homebodies since COVID hit.
100%.
And it's not my fault that my boss or my job decided to make me go remote.
Yeah, but
I didn't want to. I fought it.
They didn't chain you to your house. What I'm saying is, all right, if I were to make a guess,
Right.
I'd say that your interaction with others...
But see, it'd be a guess.
Just you can debate it, has dropped severely, right? And I would say percentage-wise, it's about 60%.
Severely.
You have no interaction with people.
I do interact with people all the time.
Not phone-wise or via Zoom.
Well, I mean, motherfuckers have fucking disease. The hell, what do you want? The world is diseased right now, my friend.
I get it. I'm just saying, like, you have to agree with that, right?
No, 60%. Because this is what I'll say.
Would you agree with that number? Or
no, I don't even know where you get the percentage from.
What would you say it is?
Where do you base the percentage on?
Dude, you used to at least be around coworkers, but you're not. But you can at least supplement that for going to. You can come to my crib. We can go to like we can go out to do things in the city.
When people invite me out to go do things, it's not like I'm like, oh hell no, I ain't coming.
Yeah,
when's the last time I turned something down?
You don't say it that way, but you have it your way to say it. You'd be like, listen, I've had enough to do over the last few weeks. I'm gonna stay home and do nothing.
When was the last time that I turned down an invitation to go anywhere?
I don't know, but it
exactly.
sure happened yesterday.
So all of your things are based on that
probably almost
nothing.
turned down Sip and Pain yesterday.
All of your things, no, of course not. Ask Sarah, was there any resistance?
I'm sure there was. I'm just playing. At this point, I'm just
your things are based on nothing.
Now. I'm just making jokes now, but I will say that from knowing you okay, at least maybe you've got.
I don't need to go to the club.
Maybe you consider yourself.
It's not a place I go.
No,
you know?
I don't go to the club. I wouldn't want to go to the club either.
Like, there's. I go where I need to
go to the strip club if you want.
I mean, listen, I would like to see some titties, so it's fine.
Titties.
But look, I go where I feel like I need to go. Nothing wrong with being a homebody. I'm not like stuck to here and don't do anything or talk to anybody. I haven't lost my ability to socialize with people.
You are a homebody.
I mean, listen, but that's fine.
Somewhat of a recluse, if you will.
So,
all right, that's all I'm asking.
But what's the issue with that? You know, like how much more did I leave?
The conversation was just having you acknowledge it.
Well,
that's all.
Sure.
Acknowledgement about yourself.
As I get older, I don't want to leave the house as much.
I know, but you're considering yourself older than you really are.
No, I don't. I just. What the fuck? Like, there's nothing happening. If things are happening and it interests me, I'm gonna go. Like.
I get you, but the problem is I feel like a lot of things don't interest you anymore.
There's not a lot happening.
All right. Besides that, so what career would you put on me, and then we can introduce our show
as a teacher.
Now knowing me, right? All right. So this is separate from the first thought of what you would do ideally. What would you pick for me, knowing me, right?
I think I put you in like a social studies realm, you know?
Really?
Because I feel like you can then, like, you have a hard time staying on topic sometimes. So I feel like you can tangent into different parts of history and shit like that.
During this time,
because like when I'm thinking social studies, I'm thinking like history type of things.
Yeah,
you know,
history. Okay, so history was one of the first things that popped in my head. I just think that I would get fired because I'd teach them the real history. Now this is what they want me to teach you.
Well, listen,
let's burn these books.
I will say this: from what I know about today's curriculum in schools, it's all terrible. It's gotten worse.
I would have dropped out.
Me too. And you know what? I'm kind of pissed when I think about it now that I didn't.
I'm glad I didn't because listen.
I'm glad that I got my.
Have a diploma makes things so much easier than saying you have a GED.
But how much?
You have a GED?
How much easier?
Huh?
How much easier? What's changed?
A little bit.
My job does not require me to have, from what I understand, like I don't know, you know, like they don't give a shit.
No, you do. You need at least a GED to work for your job.
Nah, but when I started my company, it was like, you know, privately owned, 50 people in the company.
Yeah, but they still wanted
you to have a GED. They didn't drug test. Like I had an interview
drug test
with.
Is different from having a GED. Yeah, you're gonna need a GED.
I don't think so, man. Honestly, but anyways, regardless, yeah, there's like nothing.
History. No, history. That's exactly what I was. They don't know.
Welcome everybody to the Kiona and Kasson podcast.
I'm Mr. Kawashin.
We took a little while to get here.
Kawashin.
Yeah. Took Kawashin. No, I don't like that.
No. There's too many K's.
That's
That's the thing about this podcast. It's just way too many K's.
Yeah, and Dave is not here, so there's like not a D pause.
Yeah, he's on PTO again. Although it's not paid, so it's just TO.
We don't make money.
It's not turnover. It's Dave is just taking some TO.
Shit is crazy.
They don't even know, dog.
Welcome to episode number 149 of the Kiona and Kasson podcast. Whoa. We will finally be at that coveted 150 next week, assuming, you know, things go accordingly to plan and we're able to pod, you know.
What the hell?
Because you never know.
What's so coveted about 150?
Well, for us, it's coveted, you know, because this way you could stop saying, oh, we're almost at 150 for like 4 weeks in a row.
Well, I mean, we are getting there. I mean, like, look at it. We've looked up.
I hear you. But
we started the pod back again on like episode 84. So we've gone a good amount of time. At this point, we're close enough to the point where we are podding for equally or more than what we were podding before the pandemic. Because we went 83 episodes.
Well, not really, because if you double 83, that's 166. So.
Well, I'm saying like I would say we're almost there, but we're getting close to that. So
that's
it's
still like 4 months.
Just to show you how long we've been potting back again.
Hey guys, we're trying to get to 300 subscribers before the end. Tell your friends.
Tell your friends to tell their friends.
But thank you for being subscribers if you already are. We definitely appreciate it. Hell yeah. I keep waiting for Joe Budden to address like us talking about him on there because there's always like, oh, when the pod smoke and blah 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 blah. And
there's no smoke from him. Dude, we have literally.
No, we couldn't have smoke.
I don't know if the algorithm shows anybody our podcast.
It shows some people, because there's always impressions and views from impressions. And when I look at the analytics, sometimes the view time from impressions is up, and I'm like, all right, so they like that topic, just not enough to hit subscribe. So
yeah, it's a little bit. But you ever been?
If things were on point like they're supposed to be, we should be up 1 subscriber at right about now.
Right. I mean, technically, because then we go down again by Tuesday. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious.
But again, welcome to the show, and we appreciate you tuning in. Yeah, man, we're. Dave ain't here yet this week, and last week he was gone, and we'll see, when he'll be back. We're not 100% sure on that yet. Figuring things out as we go, as we've always done on the show.
Shit, as I've done for 37 years.
True.
Almost 37 years. It's almost my birthday.
That's true. He's a Labor Day baby, which
literally
means that he's a New Year's baby.
Literally. I've already been through this. I've been down this road.
It's kind of a scary road to go down.
That's why there's so many fucking...
but it confuses me because what happened in March? It was just a one-off,
What the hell was in March?
I was born in December, 9 months prior to that. Or does it go to February? I don't know. How does that work?
Patty's Day? Well, our parents...
Oh, yeah.
Whoa. All right, next topic.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't want to talk about that.
Nah, but it's something that's weird,
It is weird. That's why we're not going to keep discussing.
Yeah, no, you're right. Well, so what's happening, man? How's everything going with you? Is your mental health good? You feeling good?
Oh man, thanks for asking that.
Hey, of course, you got to check in on your people.
So it's interesting you asked that. I've been on a new journey this last 5 days or so.
A new journey.
Yeah, man. I found this Dr. Joe DeVenzo, I think it is.
That reminds me of Vinny Paz. His name is Vincenzo. I was just listening to a song.
Yeah, well, either way, this guy, he's a scientist, right? In the quantum physics and all this shit.
Scientist.
So he's discussing the idea that, our thoughts are determined by.
So wait, is this a doctor that you've seen personally?
No, I've been researching his thing, right?
Gotcha.
Like he's big on meditation and changing your thoughts, right? Like
manifesting.
But altering your more than that, altering your personality in a sense that where you don't.
You're saying you're not good enough the way you are?
No, because all of our emotions are based on things that happened in the past, right? Our references are
our experiences
from our brain. These experiences left an emotional trigger, right? And a lot of the time, our body.
Sometimes some things are just
when you're negative, right? Let's say you're driving and somebody cuts you off, and then you're pissed. Right, you're cursing them off, and now you're pissed off.
And based on who was driving the car, now you think that you associate those people as bad drivers?
Well, okay. Well, I wasn't going there, but anyway, the idea that you're angry, right? And you could be angry for fucking 20, 30 minutes, and then it can go on for the rest of the day because it snowballs, right? The problem with that is when you're doing that, your body puts out these chemicals and these signals to your body that you're in this attack or defense.
So is this what got you into be a chemistry teacher thing? Because it's about how your body works.
I said I didn't want to do that. I think that's different. I think that's.
Just how the chemicals and everything in your body work.
Honestly, it's smart to know. I've been becoming interested in it a little bit more. But anyway, these things all can affect your health, right? These negative feelings because your body is in defense mode and it's creating weird shit, right?
Chakras and whatnot.
It all goes into your stomach, right? That's why everybody has stomach issues a lot of the time because your stress goes there, right? Mm-hmm. So the thing he's saying is if your thoughts and your actions, right, can now affect your health, right, in a negative manner, it can also be argued. It can be argued, right?
And this is why we don't drop out.
It can be argued that the same can be said for the opposite, that your thoughts should be able to affect your immune system in a positive way.
Of course.
So he's basically of the mind state that you should be very conscious and try to tap into your own thoughts and be conscious and not because what it is you're basically every thought or 90% of the thoughts you have usually, I don't know how accurate that percentage is, but they've done a lot of research, says that the thoughts you have majority of the day are the same as you had
sex?
Day. No.
Oh.
Fucking well, men. But those thoughts are all thoughts you've probably thought the day before that. It's like a program because you're just left in this your mind goes to
your mental language in a way.
Till its default, right? Mm-hmm. Your computer, your mind, which is what he's saying, you can rewire it, right?
Okay.
So he's like, you should be conscious of your thoughts, right? When you get mad or when you're about to curse that person out, stop yourself. Like, hey, no, we can't do that. We're not doing that,
But
right?
it's also unhealthy to bottle those things.
Well,
and
you're not bottling it.
You're
not bottling it. It's realizing that you don't need to feel those things, right? Be reasonable, right? Like, let's say, for instance, if somebody's driving an expressway and they're like a Minnesota plate and they're driving shitty, right? You're like, okay, I could be really pissed and cursing this person out, and then they're just driving. They don't give a fuck. You're just in your car screaming, "I'll murder your family! I swear to God!" Right? And now these are the things you shouldn't be saying.
I don't know if I've said that
because words have power in that sense. Listen, I'm only trying to like.
And now you see on the news later on, like their family was, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Dude, you're like, "Oh man." So like the thing is, you can manifest a lot of things apparently, right, by changing your mindset, right? Mm-hmm. He's like, instead of being in the reality you're at, right? Like, so the past. Right, the predictable past, right? You know what it was because you lived it, right? And you can those emotions also they trigger responses to back then that makes you feel like you're living in that reality. Your body feels like that, right? You know what the predictable future is because you keep thinking about it, like, oh, whatever, like how's it going to be, or like what depending on the past, that's how you feel, or you could just live in the present, right? And like truly just think about.
But sometimes in the present is when I want to curse somebody out.
Right, but that's the thing. When you catch yourself not doing that, or to catch yourself to not do that, you end up like for the better of yourself.
Yeah, but then there's also science that argues that when you do that, you also release endorphins, and it helps you to feel better. Not only curse.
I don't know about feel better.
No, yeah.
But those negative thoughts, they stick
Definitely
with you.
Feel better.
They stick with you for the rest of the. Yeah, you feel better. Like, yeah, I cursed him out. But literally, you're aggressive for the next 3 hours of your day.
I know I've talked about.
I swear to God.
I know I've talked about Malcolm in the Middle a few times, right?
They're gonna be like, "Hey, Adam, how's it going? I'm fucking fine, dude. I'm fucking great. Don't talk to me. I need my coffee."
It depends. Sometimes you can do that and it'll be stuck with you, and sometimes you let it go. It kind of depends. But I know I've talked about Malcolm in the Middle a few times, right? There's an episode where he usually will let out whatever his frustration is with whatever's happening, because it's obviously smart, and when you're smart, you're dealing with a lot of stupid people. It's difficult to keep it in. So he was like doing his best to like keep his mouth shut and just kind of swallow it, whatever the issue was, and he like developed an ulcer and like ended up spitting out blood and shit because he fucking kept that shit in.
I get it. You're right. I think there's a fine line, but I think the ability to control your emotions is a bigger thought, right? The idea that you can be like, okay, I'm not going to allow myself to get mad and angry at this, because at the end of the day, they're going to keep driving and doing their thing. Also, we don't know what people are going through, right? Like maybe that person is thinking about some bullshit that you had to think about the day before. I'm trying to learn this because I'm trying to listen. I figure this. I've been doing it one way for almost 37 years, right? And it's like it's working the way it's working, but I'm fighting like a whole bunch of like. I'm going against the grain trying to figure it out, right? I'm trying to. So if you can manifest, like it seems like all the most wealthy and successful folk, right? And success and wealth to me are relative to or subjective to what you want, right? Like time, energy that you can spend on things you enjoy. The resources to like actually do these things. Not to have to work. That's what you're talking about, right?
Well, in today's world, you need money to be able to do those
obviously,
things. Obviously,
that's why money...
The way the world is set up today, there's like
that's why you got to become successful. Money equates to these things if you do it correct.
But I will say this, because I'll log into my Amazon sometimes and I'll see like a book that you purchased, and I'm like, all right, I'm not mad at the fact that you're trying to get like your mind right, but I'm also like, there's no, like all these books that are sold that are like, oh, change your mind state, get wealthy type of thing. I'm like, those things are bullshit. Like
I don't think so.
To some degree,
not
it is because think about this. There's no typical
you
like.
Have to think about
there's no typical rich person.
It's changing.
They don't have
mindset.
a tip.
It's not like this.
Those
is what
motherfuckers are changing their own mindset because they're like, oh, if I write this book and I sell it, then I'm gonna get rich. Haha. Like to me, some of it is not quite so.
Depends.
I think the willingness to be open-minded to things like that is what the important part is. But there's no there's no formula about rich people. There's different styles of rich people. There's different attitudes of rich people. There's different approaches.
There's a different rich, right? There's a specific rich that you're looking to achieve. If you want to be the guy that's like, so the thing is that a lot of these books are talking about, and people that have looked into it, they're saying that you can go from the competitive to the creative, right? Where you can create your own future, saying that. In the competitive, I'm in my house, I'm in my car driving, and I see you fucking fly by in a Lambo, and it says, I do this, right? Oh, that's a good license plate. It actually works. Anyway, and it says I do this, and I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Sure, somebody somewhere got it.
What the fuck does he do that I don't do that he's got that?
This.
Right? But dude, he does this. Instead of saying, oh shit, I'm gonna get that too. Like that, like not in the sense of, oh, if in the competitive, you're kind of like thinking that the fact that you got it, I can't get it. So that in the business world can equate to a bunch of just like clashing, right? Because I want to fight the fact that you have it instead of me just being on a plane. And I'm not saying that it works 100% or what, but I'm just saying the idea is worth exploring, that I can just try to create my future, right? And from my own positive thoughts and affirmations and shit.
So you control your own destiny.
You control your own destiny, apparently.
But it's not
right?
really true.
Like, look at these.
We know that. We know long enough in our lives that that's not true.
Look at these rich motherfuckers, right? Look at these, like The Rock and all these guys who are like super successful and constantly got something going on. That you watch them, right? Like you can say watch a Rock's video and be like, oh man, I want to do that. But there's no real way. They don't show you that The Rock has probably explored these type of meditations and the ability to kind of just like can train himself to go through a day fucking assertive, right? Like, and that's where my mind is. I want to live more intentionally. Like, I want to make sure that I have, and let's say for the week I got coming up, because my main problem, and you probably can say the same probably, is that I be forgetting I got things I got to attend to, right? Like the week will go by so fucking quick where you got work. All right, I'm gonna hit the gym, come home, and eat dinner. By the time you look up, it's 9:30. You're like, oh, I got to wake up at 6. So let's go to bed. But then like at Friday, you're like, oh, fuck, I meant to pay this. I had to go get this at Home Depot. I never did that. It's like 4 days past. I meant to.
Today's world is just, there's different.
So much stimulus.
In a way, because like, first of all, in the Rock situation, right?
And if we're boring you, we apologize.
Yeah, I don't care. This is what we're talking about. But The Rock, for instance, right? He was able to learn from the acts that came before him in a way, where his father was a wrestler, and he just took kind of like what he liked from it, and he built on it, and he was able to move around as he wanted to.
Did you read Serena's for farewell to tennis? That's what she's talking about for Venus. So she said that she was always so much worse, but that she was with Venus everywhere, right? She was doing matches at the same time, but Venus was the one that was a monster.
Yeah.
But she said every time she saw her lose or she did something differently that maybe caused a better reaction.
She made an adjustment in her game.
She was like, oh, okay, I didn't have to make those mistakes because I watched my sister, and every time she made a mistake, I made a mental note. That's not what you do.
Well, so
and that's kind of like one more point, and then I'll let you say it. That's kind of like what you're doing with your body, right? You're starting to recognize that, okay, this negative thought or me saying that, oh, I'm not good enough to do this, or feeling jealousy and shit like that somebody else has some shit, is basically telling yourself you don't have the ability to do it. So you're trying to train yourself, like find the faults and correct them so that you can go into your day like, I'm walking through this day like fucking we're already podcasters on a professional platform. You know what I'm saying? Like it's more along the lines of just trying to train yourself to be more positive.
I'm with it. But at the same time, it depends on the person, right? Like today's world, obviously the whole mantra of learn from the acts that came before you, which I quote is a Joe Budden line, one of his songs, right?
Yeah.
That has always existed. But you always had less of a display prior. Right? In today's world, obviously with social media, now you have direct links to your heroes, the famous people that you like are trying to model yourself after, whatever it is. Most of them have a platform and they use it. Like The Rock is great with that. Like he's always on social media. He's always kind of like giving tips about how he kind of goes about his day, and just showing you insight into his world that we never had prior to this kind of day.
To your point, but you can see in The Rock, there like he may be negative in certain places. He may get to that point, but you can tell that he tries to.
And not even that he's negative. He's like one of the most positive people out there.
But doesn't that kind of speak to what I'm talking about?
No,
like
because there are people who are extraordinarily big shitheads who they are still rich and famous. That's why I'm saying it depends on the person. Because if you take that like, oh, there's like an envy of this person in here.
I don't think it.
Sometimes there's a motivation.
I don't think it's biased to a positive or negative person. I think both can get wealthy in their own right. Because look at Well,
that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying there's no model of like what a rich person is, because they've got their different ways.
I said it's subjective to what a rich person would be and what your rich is, right? So think about like So words matter, thoughts matter, right? Your thoughts and what you think about yourself matters.
Fine.
So look at, and I hate to bring people up like look at the Hitlers and shit of the world, right? They went into their purpose, whatever the fuck it is, as fucked up as it may be, to with the thoughts that they are what they say they are. The people will believe them that they are. That they
had one goal that they were dedicated to accomplishing.
You know what I'm saying? And they've achieved the wealth that was, I guess, their wealth they were looking for.
And that's fine.
You get what I'm saying? So
it's just...
It's not... So a fucking terrible person, if they go about their day intentfully, they will probably still achieve it because they're following the goal of knowing you as... or believing you deserve it, regardless of how fucked up deserve whatever you want is. So whatever it is that you think you deserve, it could be a fucked up thing or whatever you want to call it. If you do... You know, if you keep positive for your reality, I mean, because it's your reality, then you know you go ahead about your business and you can achieve it. That book that you just saw me buy is called The Four Agreements, right? And
I feel like I don't need anybody else to tell me these things because I know them. It's just like
I was just reading it. The perspective's a little nuts, but it's like okay, so.
It's like Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Like, he's the originator of this type of thing.
But that book is fucking... You can't talk shit about that book. That book is fucking...
Okay, well, how many people got rich off reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad? Like,
who knows?
Changed everything.
Probably a lot.
But how do you know that?
Why?
I know he got rich.
No, he was rich.
I know he got richer.
He got way rich. He didn't need that book.
He made a whole thing on it. That's his life and style now.
He didn't need the book to be... He didn't need the book to do it because you don't know much about him. But this guy is probably...
I know a little bit about him.
He's a very large...
He has a whole YouTube channel that I've watched more than a few videos of.
But you know, fine. Rich Dad Poor Dad didn't give him the money. It just... He was doing this already. Many units. He's probably a billionaire.
Every time you turn on a video, he tells you a story about his past
exactly.
and how he got...
I'm just saying, he didn't need Rich Dad Poor Dad for that. It was just a platform.
But I'm saying, like, even you can see, even with him, right? Book aside, he has his YouTube channel. The way he approaches things and lets his lessons be known, he comes off in some abrasive ways, and he'll like let you kind of tell you how it is, type of thing. But there's also people who are very rich, very successful, and they're like have like a very positive spin on things. Like there's no.
I don't think his approach is negative.
I'm not saying it's negative, but
I mean, like he's. I think they do a lot of like charitable work. So I mean,
that's fine. That means nothing to me. A lot of people do charitable work and they're still.
I don't know.
Whatever.
I mean,
it doesn't change who you are as a person.
Yes, you can get wealthy differently, but how do you know he doesn't meditate in the morning, or how do you know he doesn't go into the day?
That's perfectly fine.
That's all I'm saying. Like you're just all I'm saying is regardless of what you're trying to do or what it is, waking up in the morning and like telling yourself that today is that you deserve to get to what your goal is.
That's why I'm saying like today's world is different. Because yes, on a traditional sense, that's all that shit is important. But like,
I think it's more in a non-traditional sense.
I don't think so. There's a fucking million TikTok millionaires who put out one stupid video and then they got viral, and now they're like, "Oh, support my clothing brand." Boom.
That's
and now is what's important.
It's but that's non-traditional.
That is non-traditional. What you're talking about is traditional.
So. Like meditation
and the
meditation
mind state and because you only have so many resources that you can follow.
I don't think meditation is traditional. I think people
meditation is very
culturally traditional in the past, but I don't think people embrace that nowadays.
I don't think that they embrace it.
Maybe not.
But even that,
but to be fair, that's probably non. I'm talking about probably more Westerners don't really.
That's fine, but it's also just one element
what I know.
And as yoga and everything became more popular in the Western world, that also has joined it. So that's
I heard Kevin Gates say he was like the first time he did yoga, like he was like, his stomach. He was like, I had to leave and go shit myself, and he was like, that's fine. You're getting all the shit out of you, like literally, like.
Kevin Gates is a weird dude.
I like Kevin. Honestly, Kevin Gates, I fuck with him though. His
music is cool.
Yo.
And he's just a weird guy in many ways outside of that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's got some like eccentricities, right? Like the thing everybody's gonna point out is the cousin thing, right? Which is mad weird.
It's a pretty big thing.
It's weird, but other than that, like if you listen to him talk, like as a man, like literally, like his views on just being a man and shit in general is like. And I hate that. Like the second I said that, people are gonna be like, "You're sexist." No, I'm just a man, dude. I'm a man, dude. I'm not a man, dude.
That's why
I'm a man, dude.
Like, I hate to point to this as one of the reasons why I enjoy the Bill Burr podcast, but like, he's like, these fucking cunts. Like, that's the regular fucking language for him. He says it like 37 times an episode.
The way he says that shit is just funny as hell.
Well, because like, all right, this is why I love the way his wife is, right? Because
long story short, your latitude determines your latitude. Wait, your attitude determines your latitude.
Sure.
Something like that.
Yeah, that's
bada
right.
boom, bada bing.
Yeah, if you're living down here, you're gonna stay down here. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just wanted to complete that topic.
No, that's fine. Yeah. But like, so his wife is in a way like she's kind of feminist in a way, right? Like, and so a big part. One of my favorite segments of his show is like he'll have people email in and like ask him for advice.
You just literally listen to the whole thing?
I go through just a bunch of it. I don't know. Like,
how many episodes are there?
People like literally will cut it up and they'll do like 20 minutes of like him answering an email, and then he'll bring his wife in for like a female perspective. No, okay. Some of them is. Some of them are.
some of them is.
Yeah, some of them he'll have like, if he has a guest on or something like that, he'll put a video.
Where do you see it?
YouTube.
Okay.
But so like he'll have people ask in and they'll be like, "Yo,
ask in."
This man, I gotta.
People call in asking.
Well, they email in. So it's tradition to when you do that, you like give him a nickname that's insulting, and then you like compliment him. They do that, and then like they'll compliment like his contributions to the comedy world and all that, and then they'll be like, "All right, I need your advice." Da, da, da. So there'll be like topics where men watch his show more than anything else, of course, right? So they'll be like, "Oh, I'm having a problem with this girl, blah 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 blah." And he'll be like, and see, this is the fucking problem. Like, it's like, you guys think, like, if it's happening to you, that it's different circumstances than if it happens to a man type of thing, blah, blah. And then so he'll bring Nia in, and Nia, that's his wife, and she'll, like, have a very feminist perspective at first and, like, starts japping on the dude all of a sudden, like, you're a fucking piece of shit, like, da da da. And he'll be like, Nia, calm the fuck down. He's like, da da da, and like, give his perspective. And she's like, okay, well, yeah, I could see how I kind of flew off the handle there a little bit. And, like, it's just like really cool because like it shows that there's obviously two sides to the story and two different perspectives of it. But
is his wife like older or younger than him?
What should you say, like maybe close to a decade younger?
Oh, okay. So there's a little difference in it. That's great.
And like, mind you, Bill Burr is a bald Irishman with like super white with a beard. His wife is a black woman. They're complete opposites in ways, but like they're very like. They're just the chemistry works, right?
Okay.
But what I like about it again is just like you're able to kind of shed perspective, and the other one would be like, okay, yeah, I see your side of things cool. There.
Like you give a yin to the yang, as you
yeah,
will.
Yeah. But it always just has me dying laughing just because the way like. He's, if you're familiar with Bill Burr and his comedy,
he's definitely. I think right now
everything controversial he has no problem with.
Right now, there's only Dave Chappelle and him, and I think I don't know right now who I prefer to watch more. But Dave Chappelle is. I mean, these comedians, man, they're something else. I'd like Dave Chappelle to just have a pod. Isn't he on one with
the Midnight Marauders, but I haven't found like. Many episodes of it.
Really,
like
they only do it every so often
or whatever. Yeah.
Okay.
But Talib has a podcast, so that's also one that I go to like sometimes.
It's got to be.
He just had
high tech and quality who make you rock your body.
He just had Russell Peters on. I haven't watched that one yet, but
Russell Peters is pretty funny.
Yeah. That's really like instead of like following current events and like figuring out things to talk about in the actual world, I've just been watching other people's shows and
dude, I don't know nothing about what's going on. I literally haven't been on social media in 3 days.
I know that these fucking glasses won't stop fogging. Tell you that much.
I've literally been avoiding going on Facebook, Instagram, because I just was like, you know what? Once I started doing this a little bit, I was like, let me just experiment here and see, because you're going through fucking Facebook, scrolling through, and you see this guy's dealing with this shit, and this girl's dealing with that shit, and this group is dealing with this.
That's all it is.
You're just like, all right, look, man, I can't wake up in the morning. Like that's what started it. The first day, I didn't wake up in the morning to grab my phone. I went and I literally just kind of like sat with myself a little bit on the toilet,
Just sit with myself.
I sat with myself on the toilet and I sat there and I just kind of like absorbed the day.
Yeah.
Before I went to go grab it, I said, fuck it, jumped in the shower. I didn't grab my phone. I like literally, I just didn't. The day progressed, and I just like, I'll wait till later. I'll wait till later. And so far, it's been. I do. So when you grab your phone, it's like a nervous tick, right? You kind of jump on and you like click on one of these apps, and I found myself clicking on it, and it'll pop up. I'll be like, oh shit! I've stopped myself at least, I don't know, 15 times.
Yeah, it's easy. It becomes like an extension of you, unfortunately, and I don't like necessarily want it to be, right?
It's just so like it's just part of what you do.
Yeah, and so I'll try like obviously right now I have my phone charger there. I didn't want to not have it, for the pod and shit, but I'll try to like put it on the charger and leave it in my room, and then go downstairs and do whatever I'm doing. Like stay away from it for an hour or two, and kind of just
Hell yeah! Like I think it's important to kind of separate yourself from the phone, and that's what I've been doing mostly. But it's funny what you don't have to do on the phone if you've taken off the ability or you've restricted yourself from doing the social media thing. So I'll go to like WhatsApp to see if the guys are messaging or anything, and I'll go to our text message to see if you guys are, and then I go to like email.
It's funny because it'll
it's like exactly what you're supposed to do.
Your phone will like take you out of your head, but also put you in it sometimes, and I think when it puts you back in it, it's like in a more of a negative way.
And see, this is what I'm telling you about. That's the topic.
Yeah, but I don't need a book to tell me.
I know, but like, it's to be aware of it.
So like yesterday,
it's just to be aware.
When we went to the
social media is negative on your mind without you knowing. And
but it's become really toxic. It used to not be that bad,
right? Like you don't realize. You'd be like,
social media used to be awesome because you're like, oh shit, like people I haven't seen in a long time, I can communicate with them. Now it's just like everybody has an opinion and they're all stupid. But anyway, so yesterday when we went to Sip and Paint, Sarah drove, right? And we were trying to like get the car going. She's like, "Oh, I gotta find out some music." She's like, "I can't drive. I can't really do like much anything without music. I prefer to like have something going on." And I was like, it's funny. Sometimes in the car, I'll drive without music, and it's like that's kind of therapeutic for me in a way. Sometimes, like if I'm driving by myself, say if I'm particularly in a bad mood, I'll get in the car and I'll like turn off fucking music. I'll put the air conditioner to like the lowest setting so it's not super loud in the background. And I'll use that as like kind of like a reflection period in a way, And I think that's like going on like a cruise type of thing instead of driving with a particular location in mind. That is a way of its own kind of meditation.
Well, that's fine. I mean, I think you just need to find a place to disconnect. I think the thing with meditation is you get like the idea that you close your eyes so your sensories. Like you don't.
Well, you're just alone with
there's no visual. Like if you do a guided one, you put some headphones on, right?
Well, and that's why, like when I was saying a couple weeks ago about like doing writing prompts type of shit, right? Like it gives you a period of reflection, self-reflection.
I've started that as well. That's what he's been saying. He's like, start reflecting on, okay, what did I do yesterday? All right, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to be this guy. I didn't want to be negative in this way. Why did I act this way? And then in the morning, you sit there and you're like, okay, today I'm not going to do that.
But see, that's what I say. That doesn't really matter so much. It's great, like for your personal inner health,
well, you got to go
whatever
back to
you want
it.
to do.
You got to go back to
but
it.
Like, there's been plenty of times in my life where, like, for the longest time, I had a very positive, very upbeat attitude about a lot of things, and I'm not fucking rich now, Well,
yeah, I think you also got to do something to do with it. Right now, obviously. You'd agree, and I'd agree because I for a minute we were doing stuff, but right now the podcast is the only thing we dedicate our time to other than work outside of it, right? So this is the one thing that we've put enough time into that we're hoping that at some point, just because it would help us be able to do more of it, is we'd become a little bit more.
We need to be chicks because we're chicks, then we have like a shoe in to like, oh, let's put a Patreon tier. We're like, listen, you're not getting anything extra here, but you're gonna help me allow to make more content on YouTube. Like I've seen those things, and I'm like, yo, in a world where like feminism is so strong, why in the fuck are you able to just exploit your fact that you have a vagina? It's not fair. Hey man, listen. It's not like we're gonna get canceled. We have a sub 300 subscribers. All right, so I'm just gonna tell you how I feel. I feel like if women cared as much about our penis as we cared about their vagina, the world would be a lot more of an even place. Am I wrong?
The thoughts.
Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
Expressions stated on this podcast by none other than
are the view of me,
Mr. Kawash,
and I doubled down on it.
Mr. A. Kawash.
I think there's a lot of women out there who agree.
Probably, but those are the ones that appreciate the male's penis.
And we appreciate you.
I really mean this.
It's Dr. Seuss's penis.
We got some time. Yeah, what else? What were those topics you brought up before we started? There was something you had just told me.
Oh, Ireland Baldwin.
Ireland Baldwin did what now?
She shaved her whole ass head. She went Britney.
So did Doja Cat.
Hey, listen. Speaking from just a male's perspective, a misogynistic, chauvinistic point of view, I don't like when women go completely bald. I'm just gonna say that. You know?
Yeah, that's not my favorite. But I mean,
it's just the things that
it's
the social norm. No,
you do you, bro.
No, don't do that.
I ain't got nothing to do with it. Fuck.
I mean,
I don't even know who the fuck Ireland Baldwin is.
It's one of the Baldwin brothers' daughters. What the fuck, yo?
750 Baldwins.
It's like not even that hot.
Okay. Well,
And he likes some
Adam tries to
anti-fog spray or
understand
some
why his
shit.
eyes are breathing so hard.
Oh, there was another question on there, and it works better when there's like multiple people. And I was gonna ask this last week. It's one of the things that was on Bill Burr's shit, and it was basically like, would you rather get caught cheating or catch your partner cheating?
That's fucked up. That's a real fucked up thing.
And then he was like, I'm selfish, so he's like, I'm gonna say I'd rather get caught.
Bill Burr said that. He wants to be the one that gets caught.
He's like, because he's like, women can forgive you for that shit. He's like, they're much stronger in that way. He's like, if I catch my partner cheating, I'm not gonna recover from that, and we are not gonna recover from that at all. He's like, I'm gonna treat women like shit going forward from that point of view. Like, he's like, there's no way.
I just rather them be emotionally distraught before I am.
And then Nia was there too, and she was like, I'd rather catch. And from a female's perspective, I'd rather catch my partner cheating. She's like, and pretty much gave the same reasons that he gave. Like
I'm never gonna trust a man again.
No. She was like, I would probably be able to get over it more and just like understand more that like men think with their penis more, or women are really more emotional and like they think more, about feelings and and
this topic was we had this topic at the block party yesterday. We were like, men don't cheat emotionally.
No,
it wouldn't happen.
No.
We
don't do much things emotionally.
Yeah.
What the women of the world have to understand is men are, we don't use feelings to dictate our actions in most cases, except for what you're talking about, like somebody.
A feeling?
Except for what you're talking about, like somebody cut you off on the road and you're like, you fucking cocksucker. Like that's an emotional reaction.
Right now, your body is just emotionally reacted. And now you think your body's in flight mode, like ah.
That's an emotional reaction. That's where you get our emotions from. If it's like, I just need a curse real bad,
like a direct link.
Yeah.
Like this guy did this, and now I get to yell at him and feel satisfaction.
Yeah.
But while he's driving, thinking about, I'm going to go home and have a beer. You're like, I'm going to go fucking have a beer.
Yeah. It's not like, something pissed us off and now it's stewing, and now based on that, vengeance is mine. Not that doesn't exist. But it's less common.
I think you don't realize it, but it's on your mind. You're like, I just got to find somebody to punch. No, but yeah, so that's the thing. Like, but I don't know. Listen, to me, cheating in general just takes too much fucking effort.
Yeah.
Like, do you realize that you now have to find a way to lie?
You gotta live a double life.
You gotta lie to two people,
and you gotta keep your shit straight. Like, who did I lie to? This?
How are you gonna have?
Where was I yesterday?
How do you have any time for yourself?
Yeah, no.
It doesn't make any sense.
That's a very important part, because as you say, I'm a recluse. I like to have my quiet time, my alone time, my. See, and that's why your perspective here makes no sense to me, because that's also my period of reflection. Like getting my shit together, my getting my mind right.
Me, when I'm just sitting alone doing nothing, is usually just me sitting alone doing nothing. Like, I'm not even thinking. Like, I just like.
See that there you go. That's the main difference. It depends what you do at that time.
So I'm telling you, goofy ass, that what I'm trying to do is whatever the hell I guess you're doing while you're driving, not paying attention, but the cars on the road.
No, I pay attention to the cars on the road.
Can you just imagine Adam flying through intersections? Everybody's like, and he's like,
Simpson,
Homer Simpson. Dude, I'm telling you, that's exactly how I envision it. Anyway, we're gonna go to break, y'all.
Yeah, we'll be back. All right. Well, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm gonna have to invest in some golf shoes now. If we're gonna start doing this shit.
Yeah. So
out of all of these things, not a single one of them have cleats on the bottom.
Why would you buy? But I guess they come out with some pretty cool ones. It sucks. Maybe we should have thought about that and bought.
Well, why would
maybe if I could get some low Jordan 1s, that would be the probably ideal one, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably I'm gonna go probably like some low.
They had 4s,
Air Maxes or some shit like that.
They've released 4s, things of that. But anyway,
12s
it's funny that you say that, right? Because I just obviously had my bowling league, right? And it was 15 weeks long, and last week was the last week. We actually were in the playoffs. We're the team that didn't need to be there, or we weren't supposed to be. It's our first day showings of the league that created our terrible handicaps well, terrible for other teams because we beat the shit out of everybody all season. Because when I did 140, I actually scored 221. So it was, but either way, we were
handicaps are just they don't belong in sports.
We were in the playoffs. And I mean it was pretty cool. But I remember when we were talking about going into the league, it's with two coworkers, a girl and a guy, and her father, right? So the guy, his name is Austin. Now Austin is one of those guys that I don't
Austin?
do they call it? No, not Steve Austin. His name is Austin. Huh. So he's do they call him type A's, like where like once you start you latch on to
I don't know. I never understood what the
no, me neither. Well, he's one of those personalities, kind of like C-Mob.
Okay.
Where they find something they're
he's reserved, but he's very knowledgeable about his subject.
They latch onto it, and then they learn as much as they can about it. Right.
Gotcha.
So, first, from when I first met
on
him,
that same note, happy Pakistani Independence Day or New Year's. I forgot specifically which one, but it just happened.
Yeah, 100%.
Shout out to all of them.
Yeah, shout out to C-Mob.
Yeah. Not just him. I mean,
no, but them too. But
family, I know some of his family members. I know Fahim.
Yes, all of them. Everybody that's associated with C-Mob and his family. Anyway, so
out of all of those people, we're only gonna say Happy New Year's to C-Mob.
So this guy Austin, right? He when I first met him, it was a
it's gonna keep my
was it Dungeons and Dragons D&D? Like one of those guys where they play online.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So like he was super into that, like pretty hardcore with it, computer and everything. Like he had the whole setup. Then he, as of recently, he had taken up long range rifle shooting, right? Which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
He got into that. Started to learn how to do like his own ammunition, like making it, doing it in the crib with his own press.
That shit's scary.
It is, but like he's not that.
He's not that.
Well, it is when
your whole lab up.
When you're but when you're like a functioning member of society, that's a different story than
no. Not like he's gonna go and use it, but like having an accident.
Like
you're
going to you're in the sleep in the crib. Like
it's like you mixed the wrong chemical in your chemistry lab.
It's like a trap house. You should never sleep where you trap. Right? You should never create bullets where you sleep.
When the feds come and raid your house, you don't want to be there.
No, not at all. So he, but I was like, listen, I know him. When he starts to get the bug, like when it latches on this bowling shit, he's not gonna be. So
he's gonna be obsessed with it
progressively, right? As
that might be type A.
As it went on, he became more and more bowler-esque. So he started it with shoes and a bowling ball already. His parents had bought him when he was younger. He just never really utilized it. So he started using that. Then what was
the name of Homer's bowling team?
Couldn't tell you. Don't even remember. But so he every week he progressively became more of a bowler, right? One week he came with the carpal tunnel thing. Right, so he can spin your like. But either way, he came with that one week and he's got it on. I'm like, take that fucking thing off. Every week he progressively became more of a bowler. So he's got the carpal tunnel thing, right? The thing that makes you like this, right? It's hilarious. I think it's the same thing. There's two companies marketing, or maybe one company divided into another company that is selling both of the same product for two different things, right? Yeah, it duplicated itself.
Right.
So, so then he's already got this big push broom 70s porn or 80s Eric Estrada cop mustache type thing going on, broom, right? Yes. Push broom, but like more than a push broom, like a
a goddamn mustache, why don't you?
It's a straight up Super Troopers mustache, straight up. You would think he was a police officer. Okay, so.
I'm growing mine.
He's come in like he's become more of a bowler the way he dresses. He's like everything he does is bowler like. So the last straw was he came in with with these fucking red Bono like aviator sunglasses, right? I was like, all right, it's officially because every week
never buy red sunglasses.
He started to learn the lingo. He started and I did too eventually, but like. Just by happenstance,
right?
He happened to do it. Like he was like, "No, I'm gonna learn this."
He like fully indulged himself.
So he was gotten to the point where like we both basically started bowling at the same time, and he's trying to teach me how to bowl. I'm like, "Dude, you're bowling just." At one point, I was like, "Austin, you just learn, you just fucking learn. Back the fuck up. Let me do my thing." I swear it was hilarious, but it's just one of those things where I think if we get into golfing, we're going to be the same way. I have my own bowling ball now. I didn't buy my own shoes. That's coming next, but I just didn't know if I could justify it.
Listen,
It was like $30.
I'm
for the
a
whole
casual bowler when I bowl, so I rent the shoes. I get the ball from the rack. That's like a 12 or a 13. It fits my fingers, and I just throw that motherfucker down the lane at like 78 miles an hour.
Yeah, but that's a terrible strategy.
No, it's not actually. It's worked pretty well for me in my days.
I just want to be the guy that, dude. There's none of like that hook. When you
I broke 200 on multiple occasions with that strategy.
I broke two. I did actually too with the straight ball, but I don't like. I wanted to learn how to actually throw it with a hook with the thumb in it, because that's
but listen, you shouldn't do that because you already have thumb issues.
No. This it's fine with the way you release it. It's not a problem.
That you have blamed me for the entire time that you alive.
But this middle,
not even true.
So at some point I was throwing the hook with just the two fingers, right?
Yeah.
And it was like the torque you put onto your finger, it fucking hurts. Like after a while, you're like, it's sore. So that's why with the thumb, it's a little different story. It feels more controlled. It feels more controlled.
Yeah, but I like to see how hard I could whip it down the lane. You know.
Of course.
And just cause a crash at the end, like
completely different purpose.
Strike.
But yes, yes, indeed. Finesse, just hiya.
Nah, but
that's
like,
what Austin did. Austin's ball at the beginning was 21 miles per hour, straight ball, like no precision. Once in a while would strike.
21 miles per hour is that's you talk about child's play.
No, it ain't.
Yeah, it is.
21 is not child's play.
Listen, man, to me it's child's play. Every time I've been bowling, the people next to me are like, "Oh, damn, that shit, you just throwing that motherfucker down the lane," and they've been impressed.
What miles per hour? What MPHs was it?
Closer to the 30.
No fucking way.
Sure.
You ain't throw the ball 30 miles an hour.
Listen,
I guarantee you didn't throw a ball 30 miles an hour.
You can't guarantee that.
I guarantee it.
Everything that you have...
He's a freak. He's the fastest man alive.
Everything that you have said has been just solely based on what you would believe.
21... No. There's 30 miles an hour is unbelievably fast. How heavy a ball are you throwing?
I told you like 12, 13, maybe 14. You know?
I guess a 12-pound ball can be thrown a lot faster than
I don't need
16
you,
pounds.
Mr. Physics, telling me what I can and can't be done.
No, Mr.
You're Mr.
Chemistry.
So
physics.
Chemistry tells you nothing. I told you.
Mr. fucking Swin fucking
I told you.
Armstrong. Who the hell told you to ride a bike?
I told you I opted for the physical sciences.
Oh,
yeah.
That reminds me. So Vivi, right? Did I talk about how Vivi...
You got one more motherfucking chance.
Did I talk about Vivi? She got doored, right? I talked about this. So the bike... So first and foremost, that girl's bruising up like a fucking bad... What is it? A peach? That's what they'd say?
Sure.
Like a bad apple?
No, those spoil the bunch.
Okay, so you don't want those. They have worms in them though. So whatever bruises really nicely, right? That's what she's bruising like. Dude, she's like, ah! It's like I'm like, that's what happens when shock wears off. So Vivi turns out doesn't know much about bicycles, right? She just doesn't. She was like, she didn't ride her bike back, which she shouldn't have. I came and picked her up, but she wouldn't because she thought her bike was broken.
Because she couldn't get the chain on.
She couldn't get the chain on. So I went out there one day, right, into the yard, and I was like, all right, let me try it. I just figured it out because we used to do this when we were younger. I was like, okay, chains on, right? I rode it, worked well, gears shifted properly. I'm like, okay. So took the chain off, came and got her. I was like, bring your little ass out here, man. All right. So I was like, flip the bike upside down. Dude, that was the funniest thing I've ever watched in my life. I was like, no, stop it. Stop it before you hurt yourself and everybody around us, right? You show your flipper, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, this is the chain, all right? It's what makes your bike go.
It's a very crucial component to making the pedals actually do anything.
The teeth on the sprockets and
on the sprockets
from propulsion that is manual from your foot on the pedal as you push.
Mm-hmm, the inertia.
Be mindful to keep your hands on the handlebars. It will go. Now the chain that makes your bike go isn't on. So what do you think is happening? But no, so I had her put it on. She put the chain on, and then I rode a bike like for about 5 to 10 minutes, like just trying to make sure it was good, calibrating it.
My ass is sore now.
Dude, I fucking hate riding bikes.
It's terrible.
It's terrible.
Absolutely horrible. My experience with the most recent time and it's been a minute. It was like when we lived together. You know, I was riding a bike. I think from like
that was the
last time I had a chain issue.
Was that the
No,
the bike with the peg?
It was a mountain bike.
Oh, okay.
So I was like driving. I was riding it across Foster, like right by Foster and Elston, And as I'm in the middle of the fucking road, the chain pops off. And I'm like, motherfuck! Like, I'm in the middle of the road right now. So I had to get up and, like, run the fucking bike across the street. I'm like, man, I fucking hate bikes.
Dude, they can be quite humiliating.
It's so stupid, you know?
Listen, and this comes from a man who's had to ride his bike to work plenty in his life, who's walked because he didn't even have a bike. That's how bad it was. Like, I've gone through those things. Oh, I understand them. They make you stronger. You know?
That's great, but it makes me hate everything.
Riding bikes specifically, yes.
Riding bikes, walking to work.
Riding
motherfucker, I was walking to work when I had to start at fucking 2 a.m. Like, no, I'm done with that life.
Like, you wonder why I stay my ass in the house now. I gotta wake up for work at 12:30 a.m. No, there's no way I want to do that shit.
Yeah, not at all. It's terrible. But so back to golf. Golf is. First of all, I guess the cool thing about it is choosing a pair of shoes, right? Because like that's one of the elements about it that I enjoy.
Yeah, but I think you need. Isn't it required on a golf course to have ones with cleats or no? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, I know for sure because last time I went golfing, it's been a minute given, but I bought like they're like $50 polo shoes, some Ralph Lauren shoes, you know, and they were just low top, you know, all white shits. They just don't want you to dress like you're going to the club. They prefer you to
like a solid colors. And,
you know, like the plaid pants thing, and that's funny that they're talking about that on the Chris Rock show I was watching yesterday. So it's on HBO Max from when he had a show back in the '90s. But remember I told you he had Brian Gumble on there, and he was like, you know, a lot of people don't know this, but he had like a charity golf game that he did every year, and Chris Rock was like, yeah, you know, he's like, there's not a whole lot of black folk who like play golf, and at the time I guess that was the case, right?
Right.
And Brian Gumble, he's like, yeah, you know, he's like, if they got rid of the requirement of plaid pants, you'd probably see a lot more brothers out there. But I was like, it's pretty funny because now that we're talking about golf, I'm like, I don't know, you know, what specific. Like last time I went and I bought like a pair of like khaki cargo shorts and those fucking shoes, and I put on like a polo, and I was like, I just feel like for a sport, this is a weird attire, you know.
You know, I don't have many polos. No, it's not for that sport. That sport
it's not, but like when you think about
it, it's literally like you're walking through a park.
Like I feel
while
like
you do it, you're kicking a rock with a club.
I feel like I was dressed as though I was a coach, not a player. You know?
Yeah, but
like coaches wearing a polo, something with a collar is that's commonplace. But like
in golf, like I said,
it's
I
hear you.
Like a
I'm just saying as far as like,
and you're just like, well, let's bring this ball.
I'm just saying in terms of sport, and I guess like tennis is kind of that way.
Yeah.
Which is weird because you're running around a lot more with tennis. Like no, that's the fucking noises that tennis players make, and I get it.
Yeah,
but it's also just like it's hilarious. It's one small funny part of that.
I mean, I don't know if it's required, but I feel like screaming would make me feel like I hit the ball harder.
Like I feel like I'd prefer to watch women's tennis specifically because of the noises being made while smacking the ball.
Tennis is a fun sport to actually play, though.
It is, yes.
You know, you just got to make sure that ain't good on your knees, man. The back and forth.
Yeah. It's funny because Pops was talking about pickleball or whatever like a couple months back. And so the other day I turned on...
Why is it called pickleball?
I don't know.
What's pickle about it?
I don't know. It's a pickle. Oh, it is one hell of a pickle. So on CBS there was like a pickleball tournament. And I was like, oh, I can finally see like what this is.
The paddles are harder.
Yeah, it's almost like you are on a ping pong table, like an
enlarged
enlarged
Shrunk the Humans, so they can play ping pong.
Because you're using like a similar to like a ping pong racket, but the general like it's tennis, kind of.
It's
like really weird.
It's just like there's so many
like the ball I think is lighter.
Tennis.
You know,
it's tennis. They got badminton. You got like, volleyball is pretty much tennis, just a little bit different.
Badminton's hilarious because it's called a shuttlecock. And that
they
will
were
forever
playing
be funny to me.
Because at the block party yesterday, we were playing. They had a basketball hoop right by my guy's crib, right in front. I was like, all right, well, I'm definitely shooting at that, right?
They're doing black parties right.
Yeah, you gotta have a hoop. Well, at Vivi's the other week they had two of them. Like they had like a court, but it was
good.
All
I'm just saying if you don't have one, it's like what do you do?
I had an excuse not to go. I had sandals on.
But that's how we did it.
I twisted my ankle.
I mean, given when we were growing up on our block, like our side of the block was really the side that was popping more than anything else. But that's where we also kept like the basketball hoops. It's the fire hydrant on this side is where they opened it. Like the fire truck, the bounce house, everything was on that side. You know.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, it was. Yes, but yesterday specifically there was a basketball by us, so I played, but I couldn't help but keep watching them play shuttlecock. I mean, badminton. It's just what about badminton means you should call it a shuttlecock? Where's the correlation there? It should be a bad cock.
No, see the shuttle part I kind of get. I don't understand why
because it looks like a shuttle.
No, because you're shuttling it from one side to the other side. It's like
that's what you call it.
It's like when you get on when it's like, oh, we offer shuttle service to the airport. They're bringing you from one place to the other. So that part makes sense.
Can that be applied to what they're doing in this sport?
I don't know where the cock part applies.
No. Like before that. So I just want to know because I don't know. So you're saying that the idea of shuttling people across an airport is the same.
Not across an airport, but from point A to point B.
Right.
So if you're...
But that's usually across the airport.
So if you're using the racket to
let's not get caught in the semantics of what I just said in terms of comparison. I mean, so that also can be applied to playing badminton and shuttling the cock?
Well, if you're using the racket to shuttle the shuttlecock from one part of the net across to the other side.
So
that part makes sense.
The racket and badminton.
I think somebody who just had a sense of humor was like, "We're going to call this a shuttlecock."
So basically, the racket in badminton is the shuttle, and the cock is that's the shuttlecock. So it's yes, because if it's the shuttlecock, it gets hit and shuttled by the shuttle.
I think if you like Google why is the shuttlecock called the shuttlecock, I don't think you'll get
Is it because it looks like a cocktail
straightforward answer
of like a shuttle?
I mean, it's like a little ball with like a fucking cone.
Yeah, it looks like somebody like threw webbing at you.
I don't.
Okay, so again, I think
beyond my knowledge realm.
Badminton should be either the shuttlecock should be called either a bad shuttle, a bad cock, a mitten cock. Or mitten shuttle.
It would
it should be correlated.
Shuttle cone.
Basketball, right? There's a basket. Here's the ball. We're playing basketball. Football.
That's because it was legitimately a basket at one point.
Football, American style. You're running with your feet. And
no, but that also makes zero sense.
Well, I don't know why they called it football. What should football be called? Torpedo catch.
Well, it's like rugby, right? But like in a way, it's rugby, right?
Yeah, but rugby's played with like
they call it
some sort of like a mashup of a basketball.
Call it the old pigskin, which apparently they like don't like when you call it that anymore. You can't say anything anymore.
Well, so it's torpedo catch. If we're talking about the way like some sports are named very, very.
What I don't like about it is that like there's one element of football that's actually you use your foot, and it's just when kickoffs.
There's a lot of footwork involved.
Field goal,
running,
but it's literally like you pass it, catch it, run.
Yeah, but you got to. All of that involves feet.
No, not necessarily the passing or the catching.
Okay, so why do we call soccer?
We call it soccer. In the rest of the world, they call it football.
What is soccer?
But it's spelled F-U-T-B-O-L.
Football.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who decides on the names of things.
I'm just saying the sport of badminton should reevaluate its rules and call the shuttlecock something more appropriate and not funny.
Like baseball, basketball, those are the only ones that really make a whole lot of sense.
Football does too. Foot.
Yeah, and outside of here. Otherwise, it's
because
soccer
you're using
here.
your foot.
Which I guess soccer is cool because it's a soccer ball. Like
you're socking the ball with your foot.
I think no matter where you're at in the world, like the ball itself is called a soccer ball.
No, it's not. It's a football.
I don't know. I'm just throwing shit at the wall, man, seeing if it sticks.
Stop throwing shit at your
Remember
wall,
the sticky hands you used to get from the 25-cent machine?
I just seen some kid with it the other day. I was like, oh, is that one of those things you just slap the shit out the wall with? He's like, yeah. I used to have a lot of those.
That fucking shit used to be hilarious. You'd go there and there's like 8 25-cent machines.
You'd have them for so long, they get dusty and dirty and nasty. You're just like...
At one time in my life, I found a hack to all those things. Like, I don't know where the fuck I found these things, but like...
The gumball machines?
So like if you have like an industrial like power outlet, right, and it's like the metal one that has like the two circles or whatever. So like the pieces that are cut out of it, they're like relatively the size of a quarter. And at one point in life, when we were living on Kasson, there was like the fucking Osco or Walgreens, whatever, but it was on fucking Pick what road is on now. Yeah, right. Yeah, awesome. So they had those fucking. I don't know where I found them, but it worked in the vending machine and it worked in those 25-cent machines.
How long were you doing that?
I don't know. But
and you never gave me this hack?
I'm pretty sure I told you. I had to have told everybody because I was pretty sure I was excited and I was like, yeah, everybody got to know.
I don't think you told anybody.
But that shit worked in like those fucking gumball machines.
You're a selfish fuck.
Hey man,
anyway, I remember we used to get so there were paper, like you used to get newspapers in boxes.
Yeah.
Okay. They used to sell them on corners, lots of places, everywhere you went. Newspapers were refilled every morning.
You kick the bottom and
newspapers for the eyes, for where as far as the eyes could see. So we would we would literally we thought it was a hack, but it was really just brute force. We would just hold the head of the thing and just pull it, right? And be like, look, I just popped it open. You have forced it open.
And I always thought you just had to kick the bottom.
It was actually
loosen it.
It was actually a crime, but
we're actually stealing.
The best part, right, was sometimes they didn't realize it.
Yeah.
Right. They'd come and they'd refill it, and it's one we've abused for years and years and years. So it's gotten to the point where the latch is just it's just on it, right? So it closes it and holds it, and the guy would come, probably unlock it, pull it open, drop them in, close it, and walk away. But these became the thing where normally it's locked. These were it would pop open and we'd have free newspapers.
For the Gen Zers out there who are just unfamiliar with how the world used to work, on Sundays, the Tribune used to have the catalogs in there.
The Sunday paper for free was fucking
fire.
That
shit was a come up because you had all the catalogs for every store that you want, and it had there's coupons and shit like that. It was the paper that really everybody wanted. Otherwise, it was just a fucking newspaper with articles in it. Yes, Lord. But so yeah, being able to have a Tribune box, the blue box, and Sundays you'd be able to go there and you can. Now I'll say this: we weren't excessive with it, right? We open it, we take one. We didn't take all of them.
Yeah, who the fuck needs all these newspapers? I wasn't trying to sell them. I just wanted to read it for free. Fuck that 35
I just wanted to see
I wasn't gonna give you a 35 cents for a fucking print.
And to be fair, that shit has gone up. It was $1.50 or some shit at some point.
Sundays were $1.50. Yeah, Sundays were $1.50 because you got all the inserts and you got the cartoons.
Every store would put their catalog in there.
Or the funnies.
So you'd see the Best Buy one in there, what CDs are coming out on Tuesday.
Do you remember getting the newspaper and on Sundays we would all just look through shit we looked through it like we were really gonna buy things.
Everybody at the table though. It was a family event.
Ooh, look at this.
We're are you done with that? All right, let me get that.
What's over
I'm
here?
done with this.
Look how much this is. Look how cheap this is. The fuck did it matter? We never bought any of that
only
shit.
really mattered if there was a birthday or Christmas coming and we were I'm gonna circle the shit that I want, and then mom would eventually be take it and put it aside.
But even then it was just more customary to do it than not. Okay. Oh, so that reminds me on the topic of a insert.
Sorry if there's any lack in continuity after the editing process is done. This camera is fucking with me today, and I'm gonna throw it out of the damn window one day.
But yeah, so I am gonna get a Roomba.
Correct.
I want to call it DJ Roomba because of Aziz Ansari's character on Parks and Rec. He had a Roomba that he attached the iHome to, and it was DJ Roomba. And it would just literally, while it's cleaning up the house, would be just driving riding around the house with the speaker on.
I'm not mad at it, to be honest.
It's not the stupidest idea anybody ever had.
I mean, I feel like you could put an Alexa on there and,
Yeah, well, now, there wasn't Alexa back then.
Well, true.
But these things are crazy. It's it's the only robot that you probably would want. This thing, there's one out there right now. It's not cheap. It's $900. But it sweeps and it mops.
S&M, huh?
Yes, S&M. It's an S&M.
That was a Marge Simpson joke. Sweeping and mopping.
So from what I understand is it sprays the solution out, and underneath must be bristles or some sort of scrub pad that maybe goes like this, or some sort of scrubbing motion. And it also vacuums.
Oh, because there's a thing on the bottom.
Yeah, and it vacuums. There's hands, right? It goes like this. It's kind of weird, but it goes in all corners. Then it has
it's hungry hippos.
Exactly. It has a dock, right? It travels to its dock,
and then it
empties itself, cleans itself out.
It's pretty nifty invention, but I feel like it really depends on what your living situation is, right? With a dog, having like extra hair and shit to pick up. Like I feel like not attack it. Like although I'll tell you what, he's a fucking weirdo. He's a weirdo in a lot of ways. Like I vacuum downstairs.
You know what I'm talking about, right? When the dog's like attack weird.
He used to be like that. He's a little bit less like that. But I put the vacuum in like the middle of the living room and I plugged it in and he went and sat right next to it, right? And then I turned it on and I started moving it and then he like ran away. And I was like, you know you don't like this fucking thing. Why are you sitting by it?
Fucking weirdos are hilarious.
I don't know. I thought about a Roomba. I just don't.
So for you, there's a lot more carpet. I don't know how they do on carpet.
Well, I know that they like adjust based on what their
surface,
what surface they're on.
The pile might be too much. I don't know how efficient it is, right? And in carpet, you're gonna pick up much more dirt or hair.
Because I gotta go to the box regularly.
God damn it, gotta go take a shit.
Well, yeah, especially like
that's basically what it's doing. It's taking a shit.
I don't know how you can set them up. I think basically like every day you can have them at a certain time go and like do their thing.
Can you imagine?
Because like if
you're just at work, it's just like.
Because if it's like 2 or 3 days between vacuums, then yeah, there's a lot of fucking hair to pick up. But if it's on top of it every day, it's probably not that crazy.
To get a normal Roomba, right? Not that's like not like
it's
a
like $400.
Not an S&M one, just an S.
Yeah,
you know,
just a sweeping one.
Those that range. You can get a what's it called? The refurbished one, which isn't the worst idea.
Yeah.
But a normal one is like probably $300. But in my opinion, the ability to not have to go sweeping everywhere because they're trained to go in every corner. Like it will go there until it can't reach anymore, and then it goes around.
I don't like the fact that it's like circular. I would think like it'd be more efficient if it was a square.
Maybe circle
you
gets
get
the
in
square.
the corners. Suckers make a square. Goddamn, on pay.
Okay. Well, so that I'm thinking about getting that. There's a few things because I was originally looking for a regular vacuum, right? The one you got the detachables.
What's like the really good brand? The
Dyson.
Dyson. Those are really dope.
Dyson. Is the
Dirt
one.
Devil.
Yeah, but if you go in these worlds, like this new, like the newer technology, Dyson, I think originated this type of like this whatever they're using now. It's like the motors are.
You know, man,
smaller.
when every appliance is multiple $100s, the fuck, you know?
It's hard. It's hard.
Like by the time I get everything that I intend, I'm gonna have to get a new one of the first thing I got.
It's difficult. Like but I think some of these things, like I hear the Dyson.
If you're my employer, I need more money.
Yeah. Wait. Yes, for sure. No, the Dyson humidifier purifier. This thing's like $800, but apparently it's like it works wonders in the crib.
Yeah.
Like it's good for your when it gets too dry. I was just looking at you doing like this.
I need like some defogging wipes or some shit.
The other ones didn't do that, right?
Is
it because they don't? These sit a little bit lower, so they're more sealed.
Probably like they're bigger on my face a little bit. You know.
All right.
I don't know, man, but it drive me fucking nuts. I'll tell you that much. Trying to see, you know, like not
look into my eyes and tell me what it.
At least it's like a constant reminder that I'm alive.
Eyes.
Again, Simpsons are like the theme of things today. But remember when he sold his soul and he went to the fucking Quickie Mart and he tried to be like, oh, let me try and like blow his breath on the fucking thing.
And then it didn't
They're
blow.
like, some ice cream guy's gonna see that and freak, and he couldn't.
The best is like they're all in the river and he's just going around in circles without his soul.
It's pretty funny.
Indeed.
I don't know, man. But yeah, I don't know how we got into appliances. Well, we don't really have important things to talk about, so we can talk about appliances.
We were talking about the Sunday paper and buying things or looking at things we weren't even going to buy.
And then you were talking about
I remember one of my favorite ones being the Best Buy, because we used to look to see what CDs were going to be cheap.
Yep.
It really was the only
back when CDs dropped on Tuesday and music was not a Friday release.
It was really the only realistic thing we could buy unless I worked, because I worked at Best Buy a little bit. So I would look in, oh man, car audio, this is cheap, about to go cop this, or something like that.
Do we know anybody who works at Best Buy today? You might be able to get that Roomba cheaper.
No, I don't believe so. I don't know anybody that works retail anymore.
I'm sure I know people who do, but nobody who I'm like in regular contact with. Because apparently I don't talk to anybody.
Yo, can I use your discount? Be like, who the fuck are you?
Well, it depends who it is, you know. Some people be like, yeah, sure, man. You want to like catch up? No, I just want to use your discount.
I don't want to.
I'm not interested in who you are anymore or what you do on your daily. Like,
no, sir.
Can I have your 30% off, please?
Like, can we just skip the niceties and you just give me what I came for?
But you know what's fucked up is that, like...
That sounds fucked up.
At this point, we should at least know people who work the corporate side of things, who probably get a deeper discount.
Do corporate people get discounts, or do they just steal their shit?
I'm sure they get discounts.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I don't know if they steal. Like they might. I don't work in a corporate world in which like we manufacture a product that's tangible. So
Nobody manufactures anything here anymore.
Well,
Although I think that my prediction is that's going to come back this way. We're going to start manufacturing our own shit again.
well, yeah, especially like we keep pissing China off. You know.
You pay later.
I was kind of fucked up because like they're talking about Taiwan and like how Apple won't sell their products with made in Taiwan on there. It has to be changed to made in China now. And I'm like, I understand like Apple's trying to protect their product and their money as well, but it's also like, at what point does the humanitarian part of things matter more? You know,
It never does.
it's fucked up.
The idea that like everybody just makes decisions based on business and not like ethical things that a human being should kind of consider. That's kind of how things have gone for quite some time now. I don't think,
and that's why in Billy Madison, when he was like, "I choose business ethics," and he had no idea what to say, it's because business ethics don't exist. People are like, "Oh yeah, it's something we put in our..."
You go out there and you find that fucking dog.
He's like, nothing in any of your rambling. What do you say?
At no time during your response did you ever touch upon anything that he was like, we are now all dumber for having listened to you.
I was just dying laughing at his like the ending of his little summary there because he's like the puppy society.
Society. They were like, what the fuck?
They were all happy. They were like cool with it.
They were playing like the fucking emotional music behind it and shit. And he's like,
his dad was like.
Even his pops is supposed to be smart. This fucking guy.
Just great. But yeah, so I don't know. I think we don't have important things to discuss. So
yeah, it's a pretty short pod, I would think. But
yeah, I mean,
this camera keeps fucking with us.
Yeah, we've given you all 2 hours the last few weeks anyway.
We have actually.
But we're gonna go and get some golf practice in. You know, we got a day scheduled with the pops coming up.
Yep.
Go and do like a little 9-hole game and. Something we haven't done frequently besides maybe Daniel. So
yeah, so it's gonna be fun to watch us do that.
Got to get our practice up, and try to make sure that we don't make a bunch of asses out of ourselves when we're on the actual. But luckily, we were going to like a less professional golf course.
Yes, hopefully they don't.
And meaning like the people who are really good don't typically go there.
Good, because we will be there.
And luckily, it's also like 3 minutes from my house to add to your I don't like to go places.
Told you.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. The name of the episode is I don't like to go places unless I really want to go places.
That's a long title.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna.
There's an episode of The Office where Michael's like, I want the headline to read, Office in Scranton, great paper company, does work well. Also, they are, and it's like 4 or 5 sentences afterwards.
Why waste time, say a lot of words when few words do trick? But all right, I guess we can get to sneakers and
say goodbye.
We'll give you a better 150, something like that.
Better 150.
Yeah, 150 is next.
Oh yeah, 150 be cool, I guess. I don't know.
Or maybe.
All right.
Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. What you rocking today?
Core purples.
Listen, before we started the episode, he put his feet up on the desk and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna give the people some sneakers today." He's like, "Cause I'm just gonna be relaxing and whatever." And then now he's like,
"My leg fell asleep while I was doing it."
That's fine, but now you're like core purples.
They are
core purples.
Yeah, but my foot laid. They saw already.
I love
you. I love you. No, they saw me. My foot was up here, but like my foot dangling started to give me like my ankle started falling asleep.
I gave him some knee and some sneaker.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Well, I got these pennies on. They're like
they just saw them.
They're like the grandpa.
Are you
version.
Serious? People are like, Adam, look at you.
Hey man, you put your feet up there for 20 minutes. I don't know what you're talking about.
I would have put them up there the whole episode if they didn't fall asleep.
Well, so then what you bitching about?
Get up and fall down at the same time?
Yeah, whatever. I swear I've wore these more than this, but they look like they haven't been taken out of the box at all.
I really haven't worn my pennies much.
It sounded like you said panties. You got to go ahead and enunciate there, brother.
My panties.
Yeah, I have a few other pair of penny shoes, so I usually opt for them before these.
Do you have any penny loafers?
No.
Oh, okay.
Penny loafers.
Penny loafers are hilarious because you put the penny in them and now you just got pennies in your shoes.
Is that still a thing? Do they still sell them?
They sell loafers like that. I don't think people put pennies in them. But they're called penny loafers.
Well, for you Gen Z people out there who are just not sure what happened in life before you existed on this planet, besides the things that you want to cancel because God knows that's what you do, there used to be penny loafers.
Other things.
They're essentially dress shoes that had a slot to put a penny in there. I don't understand really what the whole idea behind it was.
Find a penny, pick it up all day long. You'll have a good luck.
Find a penny, rock it in your sneakers, and hopefully, I don't know. I'm gonna end that week. But anyways, we appreciate you all tuning in to the show today. If you did indeed tune into the show, we always appreciate your presence. And again, we are making a push for 300. So tell your friends, and then
it's so close, right?
Yeah, we're getting there, right?
It's so
and listen,
close.
If you are one of those people who just seems to unsubscribe once a week, and then I think it's the same person. I have a theory it's like the same guy.
I want to go back.
Yeah,
I want to be here.
Stay there until at least January.
Let us get to that 300, man.
And we'll catch y'all on episode number 150. You know what I mean? And we'll try to come and bring some heat rock for you or something.
Heat rock?
Heat rock.
What's a heat rock?
It's a Wayne term. Huh?
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I love
They ain't got the heat rock. Remember in Carter 2, he said that like 7 times.
I don't.
Sam loves you.
I love you.